when I speak about intention, okay, I like to refer to it as a partnership with life. In other words, we offer this intention, and then life and I are collaborating to unfold into to unfold that intention into my life. Now, life, I used the word life when I wrote my book, but it can mean a lot of things. It can be spirit. Life can be the universe. It can be God. It can be Jesus. It can be, it can be your Buddha nature. It can be your higher self or your inner consciousness, the universe. I don't know if I mentioned that. I think I probably did. Anyway, whatever life is for you, like who do you pray to? Who do you offer your intention to? Who or what do you offer that to? So I'm going to use the word spirit for this video. So fill in whatever it is for you. Okay. So this relationship with spirit is perhaps at the very least, one of the most fundamental relationships that we have. Okay. And so when we go to risk or take a risk or get out of a comfort zone, or when we, that's when we, it really becomes helpful or even vital to rely on that. So we don't feel like we're the Lone Ranger. It's like us against the world. We've got support, okay? And not just in other humans. They're great as well, but we have support with life, with spirit. So then when we offer our intention, we're doing it in collaboration, okay? So one of the things that happens is, and so this is about a lot, it gets into trust. It gets into trusting spirit, trusting life, that if I let go, something's got my back. If I participate in a partnership with life, I'm going to have support and it's going to go well. If I let go, someone's got my back. I'll give you an example. Like early days when I did ceremony with my teacher, we'd be at like a summer solstice gathering, we'd be sitting around a fire, and it would be time that I had to let go into something, or I let go of something big. And it was big, and I was at the edge, it felt like I was at the edge of the cliff. It's like, okay, gotta let go. I would look across the circle, across the fire or whatever. I'd look into his eyes and I'd just kind of say, okay, if I do this, do you have me? You got my back? And he would just smile and say, yes, I got you. And what I was saying is, if it goes south, are you going to help put me back together again? Is kind of what it was at the time. But it was a relying on him. Okay. And as I got older and more mature, and also, he eventually passed away, but also as my spirituality matured, okay, I learned to do that with spirit, okay, with life. And then when I offer that intention, I can let go, and I have a sense that spirit's got my back. You can also include spirit guides. That's another thing that you can bring into this if you want, or, the archangels, or, these are things that can have, these are qualities that can have your back, right? And so learning to trust that, okay, the deeper we can trust that, the more powerful our intention, and what else do we collaborate with? Not just intention, right? It's if we do ceremony, okay, that's collaborative, okay? And you could say intention's part of ceremony. If we're doing healing work or intuitive work, and I'm talking about more energy healing or shamanic healing, where we're doing energetic healing, some of my healer friends, they invite their guides in to help do the healing. That's collaborative, right? That's collaborating with spirit, you could say, and if we're doing intuitive work as well, like when I do sessions, it's not just my brain. It's like I open and I'm allowing this intuitive guidance to come through me from within and from without, and so that's collaborative, right? That's just not me. Okay, if I'm on my game, even as I speak to you now, it's not just me. I'm relying on life and spirit to flow through me. if I'm doing, and so many things are collaborative. And the deeper we can trust, my premise is the deeper we can trust spirit, the more powerful, our walk through life will be, And so trust is huge, relying upon and having a relationship with spirit becomes fundamental. Okay, so what happens, unfortunately, most of us grew up in a Judeo-Christian culture. And so for us, spirit was probably God or Jesus or in some form or another. Some of you may have been brought up, Buddhist or something else. But so when we took risks, and that's when you really notice this, when I was looking across to my teacher and like when it was on the line, like when we're really ready to let go, or we're getting out of our comfort zone and we're willing to take a risk, okay? And that's when this shows up in a big way. Like another form of risk would be falling in love. I'm going to let go of control. I'm going to fall in love. I'm going to move. I just moved across the state. I'm going to reinvent my life again. I'm going to try to find a new way of being, things I talk about in these videos. These are risks. They're good. In my opinion, I suggest you do them. So I happen to think they're good risks, but they are risks. They're like, it's a big risk to do this different type of thing that's out of our comfort zone. And so early in life, when we did that, when we got our heart broken, or when we had trauma in our life, when we trusted someone and they betrayed us, okay, what that often happens is in our Judeo-Christian culture, that gets projected onto God, okay, onto spirit. Okay, so it's like, I trusted, okay, and I let go and it went, and then I got hurt, or someone else got hurt, or something bad, at least my perception, it was bad. Something bad happened, or I got my heart broken. That often, because of the way we were raised, that often gets projected onto God, onto spirit, onto life. So if we're creating a relationship with life, we may have some unfinished business with life. Like I'm asking you to trust spirit, and we're like, hold on, dude. The last time I trusted spirit, it didn't go so well. Okay, so what I'm inviting you to do is go down to let's go to this fundamental relationship and let's rekindle it. Okay, so if it is a relationship, if it is a partnership with life, which means it is a relationship, what would you do if it was a human relationship and you felt betrayed? If your friend betrayed you, okay, hopefully you would have the courage to say, when you did this, it really hurt me, and you let me down. I needed you, We can do a similar thing with spirit, with life. And it makes sense, especially if we want to go deep with it. If we want to get a real deep trust, it's going back to this fundamental relationship. It's like spirit, I need to let go. Okay, I want to go deeper. It's almost like when I looked at my teacher, do you have my back? And it's like, but you know what? The last time I did that, I got my heart broke, or I got burned, or I got betrayed, or I got hurt. It's like, what's up with that? I call them Job moments, right? When we're in the Bible, when, I always envision Job like WTF, God, I did everything you said, I did everything you said, and still I'm all these bad things are happening. And that's one of my favorite parts of the Bible. It's almost sacrilegious, right? We're challenging God, but we're being honest with God. We're being honest with spirit. Okay, and my experience is, even in the Bible, God respected that. He kind of set Job straight a little bit, but then after that, everything went deeper. Then he had this, ironclad relationship with God. And it just makes sense. If we were burned or hurt or betrayed, we had our heart broken, and something went wrong, maybe it makes sense to have a heart to heart with spirit, have a heart to heart with God, and just say, you know what? I want to go deeper. But the last time I went deep, it didn't go so well. So what's up with that? Like, how did that happen? And if you can do this in a way that you're like getting some feedback somehow, maybe you're doing automatic writing, or you're doing ceremony, or you're intuitive and you can kind of get a sense of what's coming back, that's even better. But to just start and just say, I want to go deeper, but it didn't go so good. And we're establishing a relationship based on trust. If I'm going to trust, it only makes sense to talk about, think about, what happened the last time. So my challenge or invitation is better. My invitation to you is to maybe do a little inquiry about like think about when you fell in love, or when you let go, or when you trusted your parent and they, you were betrayed by them or by an ex or whatever else. Your ex cheated on you or whatever it is. Like when you trusted and then you were hurt or betrayed in a fundamental way, like is that still there? I remember I was doing work on myself, relationship work, and trying to surrender to a relationship, and it went back to when my heart was broken when I was like 19 years old. It was like 30 years later, and it's just like, oh my God, I haven't really opened up my heart to that level since I was 19, and so I had to go back, and it's like, okay, Spirit, I want to truly open my heart. And last time it didn't go so good. Do you have my back? Like, well, even if I get my heart broken again, because it is a risk and there's another human being involved, which definitely makes it a risk. If I get my heart broken, will you be there to help put me back together again? And I do ceremony for this stuff. You do some smudge or whatever else, whatever you do, get into meditation, what are some of the folks called? Active imagination, whatever you do, with journaling, whatever you do, get yourself in that situation and just, address that fundamental relationship with spirit, with life, and just state where you're at and what you need. And this can be ongoing. And this is where, this can be ongoing. It's just like, I love having kind of a dialogue with life, with spirit, with God. It's like, that wasn't fun. That didn't go well. Or like help me out here. I'm perplexed. Like that last thing, I did not see that coming. What's up with that? Like what happened here? And it's not always, doesn't have to always be a Job moment. It can be gratitude and just say, thank you. That went so much better than I thought. Thank you. You had my back. Like acknowledging when it works is really powerful. It's like, give me more of that. Give me more of that having my back so I can go deeper and I can risk more. So that is my video for this week. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an awesome week. And I'd invite you to just spend a little time inquiring about this fundamental relationship with life, with spirit. And where are you at with it? Like, real, like where are you at with it? And if you were burned or were betrayed and you're bumping up against that, address it. Have a chat with life. Have a chat with spirit, and start a dialogue. Start a collaboration. And then don't take my word. See what happens. For me, it made all the difference. I will see you in a week.